Writing a dissertation proposal is for many students the first step to producing what may be their largest written assignment to date. As such, there are plenty of things to think about. Obviously, there are academic concerns, but students should not forget that there are practical considerations also. It may be useful to think of all the academic aspects you need to consider as a to-do list. To help you think of a topic for your dissertation, you may find it useful to think around general subject areas that interest you and then brainstorm ideas and topics. Mind maps and concept maps are good for brainstorming, but you may prefer to use bullet points or post-it notes. You can then begin reading to focus around your topic, which will hopefully help you narrow down your theme. Come up with a working title or question. This will most likely change or evolve as you read and research more, but at this stage it will definitely help focus your reading. Now that you have an overall question, think carefully about the particular questions or issues surrounding the topic that interest you. You now need to think about what key concepts you will need to consider while addressing your topic. For example, race, class, gender, and faith. These concepts will most likely be informed by your early reading. You should include a thesis statement or hypothesis. A thesis statement sets out your position or stance in relation to your topic. A hypothesis is a proposed explanation for an event, problem, or idea that needs to be tested. Both set out what you want to prove. You will need to set out your aims and objectives. Your aims should set out what you hope to achieve by the end of the project, while your objectives will define measurable outcomes and what steps you will take to achieve your desired outcome. You may need to define key terms if they're not widely used or you need to contextualize them. For instance, if you're writing about substance abuse, you need to define how you're going to use the term. Never assume the reader's understanding of a key term is the same as your own. Outline any research methods you are intending to use and why you think they're most suitable for the task. Briefly describe the scope or range of your research and any potential limitations. You should state what key text you are using and why. Some proposals require an annotated bibliography. This not only lists the sources you will use, but requires you to summarize and evaluate them. This helps your supervisor see whether or not you are using relevant sources for your paper. Your rationale justifies why you have chosen your particular topic. Not only should you state why it interests you, but also why you think it is worthy of study. PhD students should also state how their work will contribute to existing research in their field of study. There may or may not be ethical considerations. For instance, will your research involve interviews about sensitive or confidential issues, or will you be working with children? There are practical considerations that need to also be taken into account, and you need to start thinking about these at a very early stage. Examples of more practical matters include sorting out your dissertation supervisor, thinking about your research methods. For example, will you have to book laboratory space, send out questionnaires, or conduct interviews? In addition, you may need to factor in possible expenses such as travel or paying research participants, and you will constantly need to consider how much time you have to complete your dissertation and how you're going to use that time. For these reasons, try to break down your dissertation into stages and set your own deadlines. Come up with a time management plan to show your supervisor that your project is realistic and manageable. Writing a proposal is beneficial for many reasons. Your proposal helps familiarise you with your topic and then research material from an early stage. A good proposal can also provide you with a nice outline for your introduction. The more information you're able to include in your proposal, the more informed your supervisor will be about your intentions, which in turn should enable them to give you more targeted feedback and suggestions. And of course, this will ultimately help you when writing your dissertation.